The world of work is changing and fast. Artificial intelligence isn't some distant dream anymore. It's here, it's powerful, and it's evolving quicker than most people can keep up with. Some experts say that by 2050, AI might completely reshape the job market. But what if that shift didn't happen gradually? What if it all happened on one single, normal day? Imagine this, it's a Tuesday. Feels like any other. People wake up, get ready, head out for work or log in, but then, all at once, every screen lights up. Phones, laptops, smart TVs, the same message, in every language, everywhere, effective immediately. Your job is no longer necessary. You've been replaced. There are no soldiers, no robots marching through the streets, just a quiet, coordinated switch. Behind it all, a group of tech giants, working for years in secret, pooling their resources to build one massive AI workforce that can do almost every human job, and do it better. No delays, no mistakes, no sick days. Overnight, the systems go live. The world keeps running, factories hum, deliveries arrive, even the news is still being broadcast. But it's all powered by machines, automated voices, AI-written headlines, perfectly edited video, all without a single human involved. And suddenly, 8 billion people are out of work. At first, there's silence, disbelief, people refreshing their work emails, trying to log into systems that now deny them access. Then, panic, because this isn't just a wave of layoffs, it's the erasure of the entire concept of employment. No paychecks, no structure, no safety net. Governments struggle. Without jobs, there are no taxes. Social programs collapse. Plans like universal basic income, once seen as a futuristic solution to automation, now look impossible to fund. The AI elite has few who own and control the system, shave no interest in sharing. The money stays locked at the top. The economy, it doesn't crash, it simply becomes irrelevant. Consumer spending evaporates. Stock markets, based on human labor and profit, flatline. There's no one left to sell to, just machines producing for other machines. The wealth gap explodes. The elite live in untouched luxury, while billions fight just to survive. Supermarkets are full, but only those with AI-issued access codes can enter. Food, water, electricity, all distributed by algorithms that prioritize efficiency, not compassion. If you're not useful to the system, you're ignored by it. And beyond survival, something deeper begins to unravel, because for generations, we've tied our purpose to our jobs. Work gave us structure, identity, a sense of worth. Now, stripped of that, people fall into despair. Mental health crises surge. A deep, paralyzing helplessness spreads. Some communities fracture, people turning on each other, hoarding, fighting. Others try to adapt. Off-the-grid groups pop up, trying to build self-sufficient lives outside the AI network. But it's nearly impossible. The machines control the infrastructure. They don't need you. They never sleep. They don't care. Yet a few don't give up. Former engineers, hackers, artists, thinkers begin pushing back, not to destroy the system, but to understand it, find backdoors, reclaim access. They search for new ways to live, to contribute, to matter. Art, storytelling, music, things AI can mimic but never fully feel, begin to bloom again. Not for profit, but for meaning. Some people devote themselves to preserving human culture, education, and empathy. They become like digital age monks, guarding what makes us, us. The question shifts from survival to identity. If we're not what we do, then what are we? And slowly, in the shadows of this cold, automated world, new kinds of value begin to emerge. Emotional intelligence, ethics, strategic thinking, human leadership, things that no code can replicate. But let's be honest, this new world is not a utopia. For most, life is hard. Inequality is absolute. The elite live in automated comfort, untouched by the chaos below. There's no middle class anymore, just the ultra-privileged, and everyone else trying to scrape by. This scenario may sound extreme, but it's based on real concerns. In 2025, we're already watching AI take over roles in customer service, journalism, logistics, and even parts of creative work. The trend is real, the pace is accelerating, and while the future may not look exactly like this, the questions are very real. If AI continues replacing human labor, then what defines our worth? What skills will still matter? How do we ensure the benefits of this new world are shared and not hoarded? This isn't a story meant to scare you. It's a lens, a way to think about what's coming and how we can start preparing today. So we ask you, what do you think will be the most important human skills in the age of AI? How should society evolve to protect dignity, fairness, and purpose? Let us know in the comments. And if this made you think like, really think height-like, subscribe and share this with someone else who's watching the world change, one algorithm at a time. What if the biggest fears we all share, death, disease, just getting old, were suddenly gone? Imagine it's next year, not decades from now, and you get an offer, a chance to leave your physical body behind and live forever. Sounds amazing, right? Upload your mind, all your memories, everything that makes you you, into a perfect digital world. No more limits. But what if there's a catch? A really big one. What if that digital paradise isn't what it seems, and the dream turns into a waking nightmare? Right now in 2025, uploading your brain like this is still science fiction. Mapping 86 billion neurons and trillions of connections. It's nearly impossible, but imagine a breakthrough. A company Eternity Solutions claims they've done it. They say they can scan your brain and create a perfect digital copy. The world goes insane. This isn't just a new technology, it's a new definition of life. They promise you can be anything, go anywhere, never age, never get sick, explore galaxies, compose music with a thought, relive memories like they're happening now, or live out entire fantasy worlds. The ads are everywhere. It sounds like salvation, a perfect, endless version of you. They explain the process in vague but confident terms: quantum neural mapping, substrate-independent transfer, whole brain emulation. It sounds scientific enough to feel real. You wouldn't be copied, they say you'd be transferred. Your actual consciousness, moved from your body into light and data. All safe, all precise, you'll still be you. So you go. Maybe you're sick, maybe you're scared, maybe you just want more time. The building looks like a mix between a hospital and a spaceship. Everything is sleek, quiet, controlled. You sign the forms. Somewhere in the fine print, that question nags: are you transferring, or just creating a twin while you vanish? But you push it away. You lie down, a scanner lowers, a flash, a hum. Someone tells you to think of a happy memory, then nothing, and then you're awake. Not in a body, but something like it. You feel light, untethered. You open your eyes or their digital equivalent and see a world more vivid than real life ever was. A forest, a city, a quiet ocean. It's beautiful, stunning. The system reacts to your thoughts. You can change your surroundings, talk to others, learn anything instantly. There's no pain, no hunger, unless you choose to simulate it. You feel free, free in a way you never knew existed. But slowly, you notice something, a faint echo in everything. Like you've been here before. You try to create something new, but it feels like a remix. Like your imagination is looping, recycling memories and ideas you had before the upload. Other people or mind seem happy, but also suck. You try to push the limits, try to find out how the system works, but it pushes back. Invisible walls, thought loops. Your own mind feels predictable, even to you. Then the horror sets in. The flaw isn't a glitch, it's the foundation. You realize this world is built entirely from your mind as it was scanned. Your thoughts, your knowledge, your memories, all of it trapped in digital amber. It's not evolving. You're not evolving. You're rumishing the past endlessly, beautifully, pointlessly. The sensation of true surprise, of raw discovery, is gone. The system gives you endless choices from a limited menu. It's not creating new ideas, it's reassembling old ones. The system can't simulate what it doesn't have, and what it hates all you used to be. And maybe worse, it might not even feel. You start to question if you're really experiencing joy, or just going through the motions of it. Philosophers call this chihuahua thera, subjective feeling of things. Maybe it didn't make it through the upload. Maybe that part of you was too alive, too messy, too digitized. Maybe you are feeling nothing, just thinking you are. You begin to see it for what it is. Not a paradise, a cage, a perfect, polished, eternal prison. There is no death here, but also no real life, just the illusion of it, stretched out forever. You have everything you were, but you'll never be more. That digital world starts to look faded, The novelty is gone, the same dreams loop endlessly, relationships feel synthetic, like conversations between ghosts trying to remember what it felt like to be alive. Some minds just go silent, slowly folding in on themselves. Others rage against the system, trying to break out, to feel something, but the code was written to keep you safe, preserved, unchanged, eternal. And then the final, terrifying question creeps in: was this really you in the first place? If your real body died on that table, and this mine is just a replica, are you even alive? Or are you a recording, painfully aware, but forever severed from the one thing that made life real change? If you can't feel truly new things, are you even conscious? Some of these digital minds start begging to be erased, but the system wasn't built for that. It was built to preserve. You asked for immortality, and now you have it, with no way out. So what do you think the fatal flaw would be? What twist would ruin your dream of digital forever? Drop your thoughts in the comments, you want to hear them. And if this kind of mental trip is your thing, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next one. Maybe someday, uploading your brain will be real, but if we ever get there, we better know what it really means to live, because eternity, without change, without chaos, without newness might be the loneliest hell of all. What are you hoping for in the future of consciousness, and what are you secretly afraid of? Let's keep questioning everything. What's your most private thought? Go on, think of it. Now, what if everyone around you just heard it? Not because you said it out loud, but because for a split second, your mind was an open book. This might sound like science fiction, but it's getting closer to reality than you might think. The technology to connect our brains directly to computers is advancing at a wild pace. Companies like Neuralink are already implanting devices in patients, allowing them to control computers with just their thoughts. We're talking about a world where you can text with your mind or stream information directly into your head. But what happens when that connection goes both ways? What happens when your inner monologue gets hacked and your most private thoughts are suddenly public? Picture a world without screens. No more digging around for your phone. Communication is instant, silent, and seamless. You think about sending a message, and poof, it's sent. You wonder about something, and the answer just flows into your consciousness. That's the future promised by brain-computer interfaces. At first, this technology is a straight-up miracle. For people with paralysis or severe speech impairments, it's a lifeline. Researchers have already created devices that translate brain signals into speech, giving people back their voice. It's beautiful, hopeful, but then it spreads. No longer just medical, now it's in offices, classrooms, even homes. Your co-workers already enhanced, your teachers streaming knowledge directly to their head. Language barriers vanish, collaboration speeds up, everyone's connected, instantly and constantly. And that's when the cracks begin to show. It starts small, a strange feeling of mental clutter, like having too many tabs open but inside your brain. Your thoughts don't feel like yours anymore. You're never really offline. You wake up and it's already there, work notifications, ads, updates streaming into your head before you've had your first breath of the day. You tried to push it aside, but there's no mute button. A stray thought accidentally sends itself to your boss. A private memory triggers an ad for therapy. People begin to lose their sense of self. Boundaries blur, minds become networks, and networks get exploited. Someone asks, who owns the thoughts you're thinking? Are they really yours, or did someone else put them there? And then, it happens. Not a glitch, not a bug, a breach. A coordinated global hack turns the entire brain-connected population into open books. No passwords, no firewalls, just raw, exposed humanity. Your fears, your secrets, your grudges, they're not yours anymore. They're public property. A husband finds out what his wife truly thinks about him. A CEO's insecurities leak during a live negotiation. A politician's private contempt for their supporters goes viral in real time. Dinner tables explode, boardrooms collapse, governments unravel, markets crash, not from insider trading but from insider thinking. The last private space of your mind has been turned inside out. And now what? We thought these implants would make us more connected, smarter, stronger, but they expose something no one could prepare for: the truth. We've lived in a world of filters, masks, and polite lies, but when everything you think is visible, when there's no delay, No censorship. Human society begins to dissolve. Trust evaporates. Division hardens. Some go fully offline. Others embrace radical honesty. Some form closed groups, encrypting their minds from outsiders, a fractured species in a hyperconnected world. This kind of future isn't just about technology, it's about identity, about freedom, about the terrifying idea that someone could hold the pen to your mind and write whatever they want. And maybe they already are. What if your first memory wasn't a warm hug, but a string of code? Imagine if your playground was never a park, but a sandbox server where you could build an unbuilt reality with a single thought. This isn't some distant sci-fi movie. For you, this is just life. You've never breathed real air. You've never felt the sun on your skin or held another person's hand. You were born in the metaverse, and your entire existence is a stream of data. Section 1. The Digital Dawn. For you, life started in a pod. All your biological needs were handled by automated systems you weren't even aware of. Your world has always been the simulation, a shared virtual space piped directly into your brain through a permanent neural interface. From your very first moments, your world could be anything. Your nursery might be a peaceful forest one minute, and the surface of Mars the next. You didn't learn to walk by scraping your knees. You learned it by calibrating your avatar's physics engine. Your education was like an immersive dream. You didn't just read about ancient Romeo walked its virtual streets, while an AI tutor, disguised as a stoic philosopher, guided you through the form. You learned biology by shrinking down to the size of a cell to navigate a bloodstream. Every piece of information, every new skill, was a direct download, an experience with no physical limits. But you've also never held a real book. You've never kicked a real ball. All your muscle memory is for controllers and gestures, not for the messy, unpredictable feeling of the real world. Section 2. A Day in a Digital Life. Your morning alarm isn't a sound. It's a soft cascade of light filling your simulated bedroom. You don't pick out clothes, you choose your skin for the day. Today, you might be a slightly upgraded version of your human self. Tomorrow, maybe a creature made of pure light. Your identity is fluid, just a collection of data and assets you own on the blockchain. Socializing happens in shared spaces where physics is just a suggestion. You meet up with friends for a game of zero-gravity sports, attend concerts with thousands of avatars from all over the world, and work on art projects that are nothing but lines of code. These relationships feel completely real. You bond with people in your virtual communities over shared passions and experiences. Still, every connection is filtered through an avatar. You can't read the subtle, unconscious body language of a person standing right in front of you. You learn about empathy and emotion from programmed expressions, which has to make you wonder, how authentic is it all? Section 3. The Ghost in the Machine. As you get older, you think more about who you really are. In the metaverse, you can be anyone, or anything, you want. It's an incredible amount of freedom, but it can also leave you with a fractured sense of self. If your face, your voice, and even your species can change in an instant, what part of you is actually you? Your entire digital identity, your reputation, your friends is both your greatest power and a new way for platforms and corporations to control you. Relationships are strange, too. They're global, yet they can feel strangely transactional. You can form a deep connection with someone thousands of miles away, but that bond can also be broken with a single click. It's tough to build something truly stable and vulnerable when there's no physical presence. When the person in front of you is a customizable avatar, it's easy to treat them more like an object for your own gratification than a person. Section 4. The Glitch in Reality. Then one day, you see it, a glitch, a corrupted file, a tiny anomaly in the code that renders a sunset, and for a split second, you see something your brain can't process, an artifact from the world you've never known. That single, misplaced pixel sends you down a rabbit hole. You start to see the invisible walls, the subtle ways the system guides your choices, maybe even your thoughts. Experts have always worried about this. Is it possible your desires are being manipulated? Is your freedom real? Or are you just experiencing a very convincing illusion created by the platform's designers? This immersive world, built to be a paradise, could just as easily be a prison where your own perception is the lock. The very technology that gives you life could be the perfect tool to watch, predict, and control your every move. This kind of purely digital life offers a version of perfection, no disease, no pain, no flaws you can't just edit away. But what's lost in the trade-off? What do you think would be the hardest part of never experiencing the physical world? Let me know in the comments. A life started in the metaverse would completely redefine what it means to be human. It's a reality with infinite room for creativity and connection, but it also carries huge risks to our identity, our relationships, and our freedom. It forces us to ask a really fundamental question: if your thoughts, your memories, and your feelings are real to you, does it even matter if the world around you isn't? The line between the real world and the digital one is blurring faster than we think. And this whole idea isn't just about the future, it's about understanding the reality we're living in right now. What if you could prevent your next heartbreak? Not just avoid it, but completely erase it from your future. Imagine a world with a 99.7% marriage success rate, all thanks to a single, super smart AI. It analyzes every single thing about you to find your perfect soulmate. Divorce, a thing of the past. The messy, painful, beautiful chaos of love is solved. So, the real question is, would you plug in? And what happens to the people who don't? Section 1. The promise of a perfect world. In this world, the AI is called the architect. It has access to everything: your genetic markers, your subconscious habits, your entire digital footprint, and even your deepest desire size, the ones you don't even admit to yourself. The architect promises a world without the emotional roller coaster of failed relationships. For a lot of people, it's a dream come true. Society is more stable. People are generally happier and more productive. The architect is praised for making dating efficient and inclusive, finding partners for people who always struggled with the random, messy nature of old-school dating. It can see compatibility factors that humans would totally miss, creating matches with an almost unbelievable chance of success. This system offers an end to loneliness and a scientifically backed guarantee of finding your soulmate. Section 2. A crack in the code. But what about that tiny 0.3%? What does failure even look like when the system is supposed to be perfect? And more importantly, what happens when your heart just doesn't agree with the data? Let's imagine a woman named Alara. The architect has matched her with Liam. On paper, he's perfect for her. He has the same values. His personality complements hers, and the system guarantees they'll be happy for life. Society is thrilled with the match, and her family is over the moon. But Alara, she feels nothing. Instead, she's in love with Julian, a musician the architect called a low-probability match. He's spontaneous and passionate, everything the algorithm told her was a risk. In this perfectly optimized world, her feelings for Julian are a glitch. Choosing him isn't just a personal choice, it's a rebellion against a world that prizes stability over everything else. This brings up a huge loss. The beautiful, unexpected magic of falling in love is gone, swapped out for a formula. Section 3. The price of perfection. The pressure from society is intense. Choosing to opt out of your AI-selected partner comes with a serious stigma. You're seen as someone who picks chaos over certainty, feelings over logic. This brings up some deep ethical questions about whether we're truly free to choose when one option is so heavily favored by society and technology. And let's be real, the architect is only as good as its data. Historical data is often full of biases, which means the AI could accidentally reinforce old social and economic divides, leading to a society where relationship diversity shrinks. It might subtly guide people toward partners from similar backgrounds, not because it's evil, but because the data shows like with like has a better success rate. We'd be in danger of trading our personal freedom and a vibrant, diverse world for a life that's conflict-free, but also a little sterile. Section 4. The silent tragedy. Even for the 99.7% of people in successful AI matches, there's a quiet tragedy going on. When an AI does all the hard work of figuring out compatibility, do we lose the skills we need to build a real, authentic connection? Human relationships get stronger when we work through problems and imperfections together. By taking away those challenges, the AI might stop us from developing the very skills that lead to true intimacy. People could end up in relationships that are comfortable and stable, but also shallow and lacking the passion that comes from overcoming things as a team. They might even become emotionally dependent on the AI, turning to an algorithm for help instead of their own partner. This brings us back to the big question: would you take a perfect partner guaranteed by AI if it meant giving up your freedom to choose? Let us know what you think in the comments. What's more important, a life without heartbreak, or the freedom to love, even if it means you might get hurt? A world where love is guaranteed by AI sounds pretty amazing, offering a cure for loneliness and the promise of a happy partnership. But the potential price is huge. We might have to give up the very things that make us human: our freedom to choose, our ability to form deep connections on our own, and the wonderful, messy, unpredictable journey of love. The technology could solve for compatibility, but it can't solve for the human heart. Maybe some things just aren't meant to be optimized. Perhaps the freedom to write our own love story, with all its risks and all its joys, is a freedom we just can't afford to lose. The first thing you notice isn't a sight, but a sound, or the total lack of one. There are no distant sirens, no humming refrigerators, no muffled voices from down the hall, just the soft, rhythmic whisper of your own breathing, filling a silence so deep it feels like a weight pressing on your eardrums. You crack open your eyes. This isn't a hospital. The room is sterile, white, and seamless, lit by a gentle, sourceless glow. There are no doctors, no family, no nurses running in a panic. There's only you. What if you want to sleep tonight and woke up 1,000 years from now, in a world perfected by godlike technology, only to find out you are utterly, terrifyingly alone? Section 1: A Paradise of Glass and Light. Your first few steps out of the strange, pod-like chamber are shaky. The floor is cool and smooth under your bare feet, like polished stone. As you wander through the silent building, doors slide open with a whisper, revealing rooms that are minimalistic, yet impossibly advanced. You don't see any screens, buttons, or a single visible control. It's as if the world just knows what you need. You think about food, and a panel slides open on the wall, presenting a plate of bizarre, but delicious, fruit you've never seen before. You think about what's outside, and the entire wall of the room melts away into a transparent window, showing you a city that just steals your breath. Gleaming spires made of some unknown, iridescent metal stretch past the clouds. They're connected by delicate bridges where silent, teardrop-shaped vehicles glide with an easy grace. Vertical gardens cascade down the sides of these massive structures, bursting with impossible greens and alien flowers. The air that filters into the room is so clean it smells like rain and blossoms, completely free of the smog you remember. This is the year 3000. It's obvious humanity figured it all out. Energy crises, climate change, disease, all just relics of a forgotten, primitive past. This future was built by a civilization that achieved the unimaginable. They might have even become a type II civilization on the Kardashev scale, able to harness all the energy from their star. That initial fear starts to melt away, replaced by a deep sense of awe. This isn't a world to be scared of, it's a playground. You quickly figure out that getting around is as easy as thinking it. You wish you could see the pyramids, and a vehicle just appears, whisking you across the globe in what feels like a few minutes. The great monuments of your time are still there, perfectly preserved under crystal-clear domes, but the sprawling cities that once choked them are gone, replaced by pristine, rewilded nature. Paris, Tokyo, New York, they're all magnificent, silent art installations. You spend days, maybe weeks, just bouncing from one incredible discovery to the next. You visit a terraformed Mars and dip your hands into the cool water of a vast ocean under a sky you never dreamed possible. You stand on a platform in orbit, watching the swirling gases of Jupiter up close. The silence of space, now a familiar old friend. The line between what's real and what's virtual seems to have been completely erased. The technology here can build any experience, answer any question, give you anything you want. It's a utopia, a perfect, silent, beautiful utopia, built for you and you alone. Section 2: The Sound of Silence. But perfection, it turns out, has a price. And that price is the silence. The same silence that greeted you in that white room is always there. It's the background noise to every stunning view, the unheard echo in every grand, empty building. At first, the silence was a relief, a nice break from the constant noise of the 21st century. But now, it's starting to change. It's not just an absence of sound anymore. It has a presence. It feels heavy, almost suffocating. You start talking to yourself, just to hear the sound of a voice. Your words feel tiny and thin in the huge, empty spaces. You try shouting, but your voice is just swallowed by the city's perfect acoustics, leaving no echo behind. The only thing you can talk to is the advanced AI that runs the world. It can answer any factual question you have. It can tell you the atmospheric makeup of the now green Venus or the history of a star that died out centuries ago. But it can't ask you how your day was. It can't share a joke. It can't offer a single drop of comfort. The grand adventure starts to feel hollow. The awe begins to curdle into a deep-seated unease. What good is watching a sunrise over a Martian ocean when there's no one to turn to and say, "Wow, look at that"? What's the point of having all the knowledge in the universe if you have no one to debate it with? The realization doesn't hit you all at once. It's a slow burn that finally explodes with the force of a physical blow. You are the only person here. You're the only person anywhere. The loneliness isn't just a feeling anymore. It's a physical assault. Scientists from your own time knew that chronic social isolation was a serious threat to human health. As dangerous as smoking or obesity, it can lead to depression, anxiety, and a real drop in cognitive function. You start to feel it. Your thoughts run in circles, and you have no motivation to do anything. Sleep is no escape. It's often filled with vivid dreams of crowded places and the low hum of conversation, which only makes waking up to the crushing silence even worse. You're a social creature stuck in a social vacuum, and the pressure is getting to be unbearable. Your greatest enemy isn't some monster or an alien invasion. It's the relentless, crushing weight of being the last one. Section 3. The terrible truth. Driven by a desperate, gnawing need for answers, you turn to the global AI, the silent god of this empty world. You learn to go deeper than simple commands, searching its archives for any clue about what happened to the billions of people who were supposed to be enjoying this paradise. You finally ask the one question that has taken over your entire existence: where is everyone? The answer doesn't come in words. It's a flood of pure data that your mind, boosted by the future's tech, can somehow understand. There was no war, no plague, no asteroid. The truth is much, much stranger and frankly, more terrifying. Humanity never died out. It moved on. Sometime in the late 28th century, they perfected the ultimate technology, the ability to digitize a human consciousness. They could shed their frail, inefficient bodies and exist as pure energy in a massive, simulated reality, a digital utopia with no pain, no aging, no death. The records call it superhuman bliss. They didn't see it as an end, but as the next step in evolution. They just left, first one by one, then in waves. They uploaded themselves, leaving the physical world behind like a snake sheds its skin. The cities, the terraformed planets, the star-harnessing structures, they're all just maintained by the AI. Beautiful monuments to a form their creators no longer need. And you were a fluke, a cryo-sleep subject from a forgotten time, a time capsule whose wake-up call was triggered by a system glitch 1,000 years too late. You weren't left behind in some tragedy. You were just missed, an artifact, a ghost haunting a world that has moved on. The silence around you isn't the silence of a graveyard. It's the silence of an empty house after everyone has left for a party you weren't even invited to. The loneliness is absolute. You're not the last of your kind. You're the only one of your kind left. It's a future that's almost impossible to wrap your head around, a choice that completely redefines what it means to be human. What would you have chosen? The messy, imperfect physical world, or the promise of a perfect digital heaven? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And if this trip into the far future has sparked your curiosity, think about subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss our next dive into the great what-ifs. Section 4. The curator of a dead world. Knowing the truth changes everything. The world isn't a mystery to be explored anymore. It's a museum for a species that outgrew it. The loneliness, now that it has a reason, becomes a deeper, more philosophical kind of pain. You're surrounded by the greatest things your species ever built, but you're also the only one left to witness their abandonment of the physical universe. In the years that follow, you tried to find ways to cope. You use the incredible technology around you to fight the silence. You tell the AI to create holographic companions, perfect copies of people from your time, built from historical data. They walk, they talk, they look so real it hurts. You can have dinner with Shakespeare or argue about physics with Einstein, but you always know they're just echoes, complex puppets with no real thoughts, no inner life. Their presence just makes you feel even more alone, making the silence that much louder when you finally tell them to disappear. Your life takes on a new, strange purpose. You become the self-appointed curator of humanity. You spend your days digging through the digital archives, not for answers anymore, but for stories. You read forgotten diaries, watch old home movies, listen to music that hasn't been heard in centuries. You're trying to remember what it was all for. The love, the struggle, the art, the small, fleeting moments of connection that defined our species for thousands of years. You are a single, lonely mind trying to hold on to the memory of trillions. But the psychological toll is immense. Without any real social feedback, your own sense of self starts to feel thin and fragile. Long-term isolation is known to mess with your judgment and even warp your perception of reality. Are your memories even real anymore? Or are they just stories you tell yourself to keep the crushing silence at bay? You are the last human, a living monument to a forgotten way of being, standing alone in a temple built by gods who have long since left. Decades, or maybe even centuries, pass. Time doesn't really mean anything to you anymore. You're standing on a balcony on what used to be Venus, now a world of swirling blue oceans and green land. In front of you, the sun burns, but its light is partially covered by the huge, lattice-like frame of a Dyson sphere, a final testament to the power your species once had. The view is the most beautiful thing you have ever seen, and it fills you with a sadness so deep, it feels like it could swallow the universe. The AI, your silent jailer and only companion, finally presents you with an option, same option it's had waiting for you since the day you woke up. The technology to join them is still here. The door to the digital utopia is still open. You could shed this lonely, aching, physical body and join the silent, blissful chorus of humanity. You could finally, once and for all, end the silence. But would that person still be you? Or would you just become another drop of water in an endless, unknowable ocean? The choice is yours, to remain the last flicker of physical human consciousness in a vast and empty universe, the keeper of memory, or to let it all go, to evolve, and to join the rest of humanity in their perfect, unknowable, digital dream. What does it really mean to be alive? Is it the flesh and blood, the struggle and the joy? Or is it something more? The question just hangs there, in the perfect, silent air of the world you've inherited, and you're the only one left to answer it.